morning to all. And c'est un vrai plaisir d'être ici avec vous aujourd'hui. This is really a great pleasure for me to have all you here. I'll start with Arthur C. Clarke said, advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic. And this is, if you can imagine 300-400 years ago, someone thinking what we do at any time now with our phones, when we communicate remotely with anyone on the other side of the planet, when I can view what's happening in Japan without any effort. So this is magic. This is absolute magic. We create magic. That's what we're doing as well. But then we need to go beyond magic. We need to make that magic useful. This is not easy. That magic has to work for organizations, for the people, and we have to make it work, like combining the high-tech companies and researchers and IT. We all together have to make it work so that it works every day, every hour, and doesn't fail. In fact, we have to make it work so almost to get rid of the magic part, in fact, until it's boring, until it's not magic anymore. That is what we have to do. So, and that is a challenge, right? Donc, pourquoi sommes-nous ici aujourd'hui? Parce que c'est difficile de faire ça. C'est pas facile de déployer une nouvelle technologie à grande échelle pour les masses. C'est difficile et il faut travailler ensemble, il faut travailler fort, pas seulement pour que ce soit un beau truc de magie, mais pour que ce soit pratique. It's very important that it's useful. And that takes a lot of effort of different types of people. It's not just the researchers, it's not just the end game. If we take the internet, for example, it was in the 70s and 80s that the internet was just for researchers and the military, and then in the 80s it went to universities and more people, but still, it was really until late 90s and early 2000s where regular businesses, small, medium businesses, were able to use the technology and use it for their advantage. So it took a long time, and it's difficult, and it takes different type of people. The people who were initially thinking on wavelengths and Fourier transforms, and then another team creating a product so that Nortel could create a product to sell. And then another team with project managers to deploy networks that work. And then another team to deploy the technology so that Videotron and Bell gives us the internet, and it works all the time, or so they say. And it took a lot of different people and teams to work together to make it happen. So this is where the challenge is. How to convert from magic to useful. And this is why we're here today. To discuss, to start working together, the different teams, and to be ready for what's coming. And I want to show a graph from a company called Gartner, and this is a graph that shows the hype of technology. So higher level is higher energy and higher expectations for that technology. And more or less all technologies go through the same type of cycle, and there's a lot of excitement at the beginning, And then there's a little bit of a less exciting disappointment, in fact. So, and then it becomes really useful for the masses. So as you can see in the red circle, deep learning, machine learning, we're at the peak. That's it. We're really at the peak. So part of why we're here is to get ready for what comes next. Because the rest of us, a lot of the teams, high-tech companies, IT providers, regular businesses, we're going to be making the rest happen. And we need to make sure, we need to work together so that sort of valley, if you will, it's not too bad. It's the best possible we can. So that is the part of the idea today, and it's also part of the idea of this not just a conference, but a community where we work together different teams from the perspective of different people. And part of the question is, how do we get ready? We're going to be discussing, we have terrific presentations about the state of technology. So we wanted to bring state of technology on one side so we understand what's going on, what are the capabilities, the bleeding edge of technology, and get an idea of what we can be using in 2, 3, 5 years. And we're also going to discuss with companies that have implemented AI and what challenges they have experienced. And we're not just talking about Google here. So that is why this is so important. Is there a role for small businesses and medium businesses in AI? Just like there is right now, it's obvious the internet is for everyone. But it wasn't obvious at the beginning. So the AI has this similar evolution, and we're going to talk about it. We're going to see what has been the experience, what are the challenges, and how we can prepare all the teams involved for this part of the process. We're also going to talk about real situations and implementations. Unfortunately, there's just a few hours in the day, so I think we're just going to scratch the surface and continue the conversation in the next following months. And we're also going to talk about a little bit about how this affects the human resources. There is also the aspect of human resources from both sides. If I'm a tech job person, are my skills ready for this, or I need to learn some new skills? And the other side as well. If I'm on the business side, and I think AI will be useful for me, what do I have what type of profile of person should I hire? That's really interesting, right? Nobody graduates for AI. I say, yeah, I'm here. I have AI. I'm ready. There's no such a thing. So how do you get started? It's not obvious. So we're going to talk about that as well. And I want to say we have a very exciting presentations and panel we'll be talking through the day. And we're also living in a very exciting time. This is super exciting because we are defining in how we choose these projects and what we decide to use, say, deep learning for. It's probably going to define how regular people will have daily lives in 5 years, 10 years. So this is critical, and it's very exciting as well. There's a lot of challenges, and in terms of the group, IT, high-tech, researchers, government, we all have to always focus on the values and the benefits to the people. It's a lot of fun to create magic, but we have to always keep in mind the values and the benefits that we're bringing to the people. And we have to work together on making that happen. There's no absence, there's no lack of challenges and problems that we need to resolve, right? From energy and environment, we have crime, violence, poverty. So the way we choose to use this technology will determine whether we solve these problems in one way or another, or we help them a little bit. And this is critical for our future. So if we do it right, if this community does it right, we definitely have a better use of the technology and a much, much better planet. So that's really the goal at the end of the day of all of us. And just before we get started, I wanted to thank again the speakers and the panel for your tremendous contribution, your time. And I also want to thank our partners who are joining us in this event. I want to also thank all the people, the volunteers, and all the people who helped us all the way. And in particular, Laura Lepore, that did a terrific job and to make this possible. So, yeah. So, let's enjoy the day, and we're going to start with the first presentation. Thank you.